Cinderella. Once upon a time there was a girl so smart and bright, but her stepmom hated her and made her work day and night. Once upon a time there was a rich man with one daughter. His wife had died, and to give his daughter a good home, he had remarried. At first, her stepmother was good to her. Her stepmother also had 2 daughters. But when the stepmother saw that Cinderella was hardworking and smart and beautiful, she got jealous and she began to give so much work to Cinderella. She would call her, "Go, wash my clothes. Come here, brush my hair. Why are you so slow?" She bullied her and ordered her around. And sometimes it was her daughters who would tell her to do this and to do that. Cinderella was always busy, and she had no time to wash herself or clean her clothes. And because she was often covered in ashes, they called her Cinderella. Cinder is another word for ashes. Now, one day, from the palace there came the news that the king was going to have a ball, a dance party, and he called all the people to come to the party. The 2 sisters, they were busy getting a nice dresses and making their hair beautiful and putting on beautiful shoes. Cinderella was busy washing and sewing and cleaning and cooking and taking care of the garden. They said, "Cinderella, I want to tell you, you don't have a chance. Our mother won't let you go to the princess dance." And really, when the day arrived of the princess ball, the 2 sisters were dressed up so nicely, and they went to the ball, leaving Cinderella alone at home. Cinderella was very sad. She really wanted to go too, but she looked at her clothes, and they were poor and broken, and her hair was dirty, and she cried. Just then, her fairy mother came, and fairy mother said, "Cinderella, what is your wish?" She said, "Fairy mother, dear fairy mother, I want to go to the princess ball." Says, "No problem. Get me a pumpkin, 6 mice, and 6 lizards just now." Cinderella ran off to the garden, got nice pumpkin, 6 mice and 6 lizards, and gave it to the fairy mother. And with her magic wand, the pumpkin became a beautiful carriage, and the 6 mice became beautiful horses, and the 6 lizards became nice horsemen. And then with her magic wand, the fairy mother touched the dirty and broken clothes of Cinderella and changed them into a beautiful dress. She said, "Go now, Cinderella, have a nice time, but remember, come back before 12 o'clock. After 12, the magic will be gone." And Cinderella says, "Yes, mother, yes, fairy mother, I will remember." And she quickly got in the carriage, and the horses took her to the palace of the king. Everybody looked at her. Who is that beautiful girl? So shining, so charming, so graceful, so beautiful. And the prince asked her to come and dance with him. And they danced and they danced and they danced and they talked and they talked and they talked, and they had a good time. And when it was 11:45, Cinderella said goodbye, And she quickly got into her carriage and went back home. There, the magic disappeared. The carriage became a pumpkin, the horses became the mice, and the horsemen became the 6 lizards again. A few hours later, the sisters came back. And Cinderella said, "Wow, you've come back so late. How was your party?" The sister says, "Oh, you don't know. There was a girl. She's so beautiful and so graceful. And the prince was always dancing and talking and sitting with her. We don't know who she is, but she was pretty." The next day, there was a party again at the palace. And the 2 sisters dressed up and put on nice shoes, and they went off to the palace, leaving Cinderella behind. But then the fairy mother came again and says, "Do you want to go again?" He said, "Yes, fairy mother, I wish to go again." He said, "Get me your pumpkin, get me your 6 mice and your 6 lizards." And with her magic wand, she changed them into their 6 horses, a beautiful carriage, and 6 horsemen. And then she touched Cinderella, and her dress changed into a beautiful gown. And she rushed off to the palace, and she danced again and talked and sat with the prince, and the prince couldn't stop. Well, when you're happy, time goes so fast. Cinderella forgot that she had to be back before 12 o'clock. And just as she was enjoying herself, boom, boom, oh no, it's going to be 12. Oh no, Cinderella quickly ran off. She ran so fast the prince couldn't keep up with her. She ran, jumped into a carriage and rushed away. And the prince was heartbroken. Who was this girl? Who was she? He wanted to meet her again. He couldn't stay without her. Who is she, so kind and pretty, that I have to look at her? The princess of my dreams, walking on the earth. And she asked all the soldiers, "Who is that girl?" Nobody could tell, but one had found a glass slipper, and he said, "This is her slipper. You must find in your country the girl that can wear this slipper, and you will have found your love." And so the king got on his horse, and he went all around to everybody's house, wherever there was a girl, and he said, "Try on the slipper." Sometimes it was too big, sometimes it was too small. He couldn't find anybody who could wear that slipper. And finally, he came to the house of the stepmother, and the sisters tried on the slipper, but it didn't fit their feet. And then the prince said, "How about this Cinderella?" He said, she cannot wear your slipper." He said, "Princess, give her a chance." And he asked Cinderella to sit down, and he put this glass slipper on her feet, and it fitted perfectly. Not only that, from her pocket, Cinderella took the other slipper and put it on. And the moment she put on both slippers, the magic came back, and her dirty and broken clothes turned into a beautiful dress of that evening. And when the prince saw that this was the girl he had loved, he knelt down and said, "Will you marry me?" And of course, Cinderella said, "I will." And Cinderella and the prince went off to the palace, and they had a beautiful wedding, and they had a beautiful life. But Cinderella did not forget her 2 sisters, and she said, "You must come and stay with me. Even though you have been bad to us, I must be good to you." Because Cinderella was not only beautiful, she also had a very kind heart. The end.